Oh, hi, I didn't see you there. Well, I see you've come back to Dave's E-Tech Bench to learn a little bit more. My name's Dave. This is Dave's E-Tech Bench, where I use my 20-some years experience working in the as an electronics tech, or E-Tech, in the oil and gas industry to give some insight, tips, and tools to hopefully help you out. If you like what you see, please subscribe, of course, and leave a comment. Okay, let's get started. So, today's video is going to be kind of a follow-up to the one I did on the weather pack connectors under assembly, and we're going to look at another type of connector which is pretty common and often used interchangeably with the weather pack connectors. These are called Deutsch connectors, and like the weather pack connectors, they're crimps. They have their own pins. They have a special tool. They're for sort of temporary connectors. They have a male and a female side that clip into each other. You can disconnect them. And so they do a lot of the similar things, but they are different, and some have advantages to others. So we'll look at that some other time. But today, let's just get into the Deutsch connectors. I've got some here. I've got the tools. I'll show you how to put them together. And yeah, let's just have a look at that. All right, so in front of me I've got everything we need to make a Deutsch connector. We have our connectors, we have our special tools that we require, and we have our pins. Deutsch connectors come in all sorts of shapes and sizes. The main features are for example, this is a two-pin connector, and they have a seal around the outside, weatherproof seal here. They clip on there, so that just pushes up and down, no problem. And there's a seal at the back too to protect it from where it comes in. The general idea is you got a female side, you got a male side, and they just basically clip together like that. All right, so, and then they can just come apart as well. This part will normally stay on once the wedge is in place. So you got the housing, you've got the wedge part that holds the pins in place, make sure everything lines up. We have a 3-pin. This is commonly used in automotive or heavier machinery on J1939 CAN bus. So there's a 3-pin, and that's the female side, male side, and those respective wedges for that. No, I don't have the one for this one. I'll have to grab that. The 4-pin, it's a 4-pin, same idea. And this one is a 12-pin. Now, while I got this one in position, if you look inside, you can see where you can see those little, that row of tabs in there. Those are what locks that pin into place when you push it in. So that just gives you kind of a good visual on it. And it's enough there that if you were to need to get it out of there, you can just pry that pin back a little. You can see it kind of moving there like that. All right, so I'll just show you that now. It's got its own wedge too. That's a 12-pin. Other features we have, I don't have the receptacle for that though. These are the pins here. This is the male pin, and you can tell because it's pointy. And here's the female pin. All right, so once you get your connectors together, the pins will just line up and insert into there, and that's how you make your connection on the inside there. Okay, and those come in different sizes too. These smaller ones are 16 to 18 gauge, and these other ones we have here are supposed to go up to 14 gauge. And these ones have a little green stripe on them. You can kind of tell the difference there. This is a Y connector, so if you want to have multiple 3-pin connectors come into a common meeting point, this is commonly used in the CAN bus applications, J1939. Here we have a 3-pin 120 ohm built-in resistor on here, because when you use CAN bus, you gotta have the 120 ohm terminating resistor, but we can get into that another day. And as you can see, this one has a triangle shape on there. And if you look in here, you see the receptacle's got a triangle shape on there. So that'll fit right in there. And that's all you do with that one. Other thing with the J1939, sometimes you'll see these orange or these blue wedges as opposed to the orange ones. And this is just designating that it's the communication type stuff. And then there's also the green ones that are used in that as well. And you can see that that's basically the same, it's just different color. So if you're stuck, you could always use the orange one or whatever. So they're supposed to be for the J1939 primarily. Well, I'll put those off to the side because we're not going to deal with those. The next thing you need is a crimping tool. This is a very good quality one. This is the TEHD T4800. It's not cheap. It cost me about $350 Canadian, that is, to get one of these. But they are good, and they ratchet and they crimp. As you can see, there's four little teeth in there, and that's what's binding onto your connector or your pin. When you're looking at your pin, you can see there's kind of two spots to it. There's a kind of a long part, and then the shorter part. The shorter part's where the wire is going to go, and you're going to crimp on there. You don't want to crimp on the little ridge here, and you don't want to crimp down here. You need to be crimped right up here, and we'll see that when we do the crimping. So like I said, this one here, $350 I think it was. You can get cheaper versions, like these ones here I bought off Amazon a few years ago, and it'll work. It works okay. A lot cheaper, not as good obviously, but still does the trick. So you can use that. I use this one. I throw this one in my tool bag, and then if I got to deal with it, I use that. And you can use these whenever. But if you're going to get into like heavy duty doing this, this is the way to go for sure. All right. What else we got here? I guess that's about it as far as the parts go. What we'll do next is we will crimp some wire onto here, and we'll show you how we put them together. Okay, so here we go. We've got our tools that we'll require for this. We're going to do this on some 18 gauge wire I have over here. And we will put together a 2-pin connector. So the first thing we want to do is we want to look at our tool here, and we can see here that it's adjustable as to the gauge of wire you're working with. All right, so in this case we're going to use 18 gauge. I lift the little tab and I rotate it over, and that's locked into position. All right, and then that will give me the correct amount of crimp for that particular gauge. We're going to set up our tool for the females. There's two adjustments you do on here basically, or not two adjustments, one adjustment, but you need to move two things. This is the locking, and this one controls the depth of where your pin is going, the green one here. So what you want to do is you want to get the top of your pin, like the barrel here, so you can insert it this way, so the long end's going in, and then you're going to crimp around this part here, and you want that flush with the top of this black section here. So I'm just going to stick my pin in, and I just adjust the bottom green screw a little here, this one, until it's flush. That way I know it's positioned in the right area. When it closes, it's going to close in on that section that I want to crimp on. I'll show you with the one that I've done here before. So this one here, we'll say, and as you can see, it's going to close in on there. All the way, release. And ultimately it's going to look like that basically, but crimped onto your wire. So anyway, that kind of shows you the demo, because once I get the wire in there, you may not see the teeth closing properly. So let's just take this black and white, and we will strip our wire. All right. We want to strip it back just far enough that your wire is going to go into the barrel, but you don't want a bunch of insulation in there. This is not too bad. I guess it's nice and flush, and it's not good to have it sticking out too far. So if you can get it nice and flush so the insulation is just at that point, that's great. I'm just going to actually take a little bit more off there just to be sure. Yes, this goes in here. And that's pretty good, actually. You can kind of see that the insulation is just outside. There's a little hole right there. I'm assuming that's so you can see that the wire's made it all the way to the edge. You want to make sure the wire is all the way in, right down to that lip. Okay? All right, so we're all set. We can take our pin, stick it in there, stick our wire in. One of the strands got away on me. I hate it when that happens. All right, we'll stick it in there, and we'll start crimping. These are a really wide grip on these, but luckily I have big hands. There, so we crimped it on there. Let her go, and we've got a nice crimp there. You can see that there. So we got 4 nice things that's on there nice and tight. So we'll be pretty happy with that. And we'll just do the same on our black wire. And stick our black wire in here. Stick that in there. And there we go. All right. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, or I didn't forget to mention, but one thing I should mention is, unlike the weather packs where you could put the male pins into the female housings and the female pins into the male housings, with Deutsch pins or Deutsch connectors, you can't do that. This is a female housing. All right. So it has to use a female pin. This is the male housing. You got to use the male pin. That's just the way it is, I'm afraid. You just can't go both ways on these things. All right, so they're also marked 1 and 2. That says 1, that says 2. They're all numbered, so you might have a spec sheet that goes on it. In our case, we'll say 1 is the power. So all you do to put these together, you push them in from the back through that seal at the back. Okay, just push it through until you hear it click into place, and that's those little tabs engaging on that ridge, on that little rim on here. Whoop. On there. See, I can get nice and close. Right there. That's where it's locking. All right. Now, say you made a mistake and you went, oh crap, that pin was supposed to go in 2, not 1. That's where your little screwdriver can come in handy. You can just pry back a little on that tab, and you can just pull it out again. And you can fix your error right away. Okay? So easy to take apart. Not like that with the weather packs where you needed that special tool to do it. You can just do it with your handy dandy screwdriver that you keep in your toolbox all the time, or your tool bag. All right, so we got our 1, and black is going to go into 2. Sometimes they're a little stiff to get going. Here, whoops. Messed that seal up a little. I didn't reset it from when I pulled the thing back in. There we go. These just insert in here. So it's not like they're glued in or anything like that. All right, let's try it again. There we go. All right, so we're just going to push those in. White's in, black's in. There we go. So we've got our 2 pins, 2 female pins sticking inserted fully. Okay, so the next thing we've got to do is, because you can see that these are going to move around and stuff, right? So we're going to get our wedge here, and it's just going to slide in. It's got a bit of a slope on it. You're going in from the bottom, push it through. These ones usually go pretty good. There we go. There we go. Mess around with it a bit, and you just push it in until it snaps in place. So now you can see your 2 pins are lined up with the 2 holes in there. So everything's lined up. So when this one comes in on it, that's going to slide in perfectly into there if everything goes well. All right. Now, say you messed up again, and you went, oh crap, I need these to be the other way around. There is an out, a cheat code, if you will. You can take these off. Just got to be very careful, especially the first time you do it. And you can just pry that out with your screwdriver, and you can put it back in. See, the good thing about these, like the weather pack connectors, is if you can maintain the housing and the wedge and everything, and you just have to replace the pins, you can reuse the housings over and over. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd use brand new ones if you could, but if you can't, I said, they are reusable to a point. Once this wedge comes out, well, it affects the alignment. And a lot of times I have seen on these where the where you'll get to it, you'll pull this thing off, and you'll find it's just like that. Now this will work. It'll still line up, ideally, but it's not perfect. But you will see some where they've lost the wedge for some reason, or it's broken. And, yeah, so make sure there's a wedge in there. All right, so we'll put that back in. Okay, so for the male one, it's basically the same. Nothing too bad. In fact, you know what? I've already made one. all the principles are the same. The wedges on these are a little more finicky to get in, but it is doable. And if you have to really force it, you're doing it wrong, basically. To get them out is very hard, depending on what style it is. I think these 3-pin ones, like, come like this, aren't too bad because there's a little knob on there you can grab onto. But I have a lot of trouble trying to get these out, prying them out. So almost to the point where you might as well not bother. Just cut the end off and just replace the whole thing. If you have a trick to get those out, like I've pried them out with a screwdriver once in a while, and sometimes you can get a skinny pair of pliers on there, but I don't know, I just can't be bothered, to tell you the truth. Not with these ones anyway. Like I said, the ones like this, yeah, not too bad. You've got a little knob there you can grab onto. So that's what she said, I guess. But anyway, so now we've got these all lined up. So we've got our wedges and stuff in there in place. So now we can just put them together, and she's done. And then if you need to replace this component on this side or this one on this side, or you need to do some voltage checks or whatever, just easy enough. You push down on the tab, pull them apart, and everything's there. You notice the rubber didn't fall off this time because I got the wedge in place, so everything will be there. All right, so you got a nice seal. You can see that sealing right there. You got a nice seal at the back, and a nice seal at the back of this one too. So they're really good connectors. I like them. I don't know if I would say I kind of like them better than the weather packs. I think they're a bit more durable. But yeah, you can't really go too wrong. Two is there, one there, and away you go. So that is basically how to put them together, how to take them apart, and all the tools you need to do it. This one here, like I said, with this one, it does work. Where's my test one? This one's rated to 14, 8, 16, and 18. So I can just take this, that just goes in there like that. Same as the other one. On these ones, this screw on the back here. The screw on the back here is, you can adjust your depth with that sort of thing. So I got another one of these, came with the kit that does a smaller gauge, like 20, 22 gauge. And like I said, there's nothing wrong with these. It's the exact same thing. You just put it in there, crimp it, and away you go. All right, well, I think that's about it for the demonstration on how to put those together. So yeah, thanks for watching. Maybe another day we'll do a comparison or whatever. You could maybe tell me what you prefer. Do you prefer weather packs? Do you prefer Deutsch connectors? Which applications would you use them in? They're used in similar applications. I think the Deutsch connectors are probably just a little better contacts, a little better weatherproofing, but that's my personal opinion. Yeah, if you got any suggestions, put them in the comments below. And don't forget to like and subscribe. And we'll see you next time on Dave's E-Tech Bench.